late start. We had some technical difficulties, but thank you for bearing with us, and welcome to the webinar presented by HPE and Vivid, Service Anywhere. So we are talking about Service Anywhere today. The title of the webinar is See How Service Anywhere Continues to Evolve in the March 2016 release. I'm Robbie Clayamit, and I am your Vivid moderator. Today's speakers are Kash Narani and Mark Bradley from HPE. Kash is the Senior Product Manager for Service Anywhere. Mark is a Product Manager for HP also, who a lot of you already know. This session is being recorded so that all Vivid members can see it at a later date if they could not join us. Please type your questions into the question pane, and we will answer those as soon as we can after the presentation. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Narani and Mark. Welcome and thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Sorry for the late start. We had some technical issues, as Robbie mentioned. My name is Kash Narani. I'm a Senior Product Manager for HPE, and particularly on Service Anywhere. And Mark Wills is also on the call, and he'll also be available. He's also a product manager with a peer of mine. So today we're going to talk about the Service Anywhere March release and update you guys on that. But prior to that, I think Robbie has covered the housekeeping thing. I'm sure most of you have attended these kind of sessions before, so you're familiar with the webinar control panel. But just in case you aren't, I mean, there are all these toggles available where you can mess with the questions, the chat. You can see it on the screen. But if you have any issues, let us know. We'll try to fix it for you. And as mentioned, the session is recorded, so you can also view it later at your convenience. So let's get into the product and Service Anywhere. I just wanted to start by saying that, as we all know, over the past few years, IT service management has undergone quite a bit of change. We have seen tremendous amount of innovation, move to the cloud, a lot of cool stuff happening on mobility, a large emphasis on self-service, the consumerization of IT, and bring your own device as well as created some challenges, quite a few challenges, so to speak. And what we're seeing, at least from HPE's point of view, is that there's a digital transformation that is happening in many enterprises, and we want to be at the center of that. And as a result, we're building our products to really focus on this, on the way modern enterprises and legacy enterprises are trying to move to be much more agile, much more nimble, much more digital. So you'll see this in many of our products. And Service Anywhere is the forefront of that, where we are building in big data, not only as an add-on or like a side item as a strap, as an add-on, but actually fundamentally at the core, the nuts and bolts of Service Anywhere are built on big data. You'll see this referred over and over, and that's something we're quite proud of. So the main focus for IT service management, despite all these changes, have not changed. Right? I mean, we still are focused on reducing the cost of IT, improving the speed and responsiveness of the service desk, and improve the experience of the user. So these are the imperatives that drive us. These are the imperatives that drive our customers, and we are laser focused on that. So Service Anywhere in the March release has added many features which are going to help our customers do exactly that. So with that said, let me get into the release highlights. I've added some screenshots here. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it very well on the screen, but in case you can't, there are detailed webinars and demo recordings that we are also making available on other channels, which you guys can also see, and we can share those links. But very quickly, the highlights are, in March release, we've added a really cool module for project management. And this is really about, a lot of times we see change managers and release managers working on the areas, and they wish that they had some way of quickly creating tasks, quickly creating portfolios of small projects, and managing them, adding some resources, cost, financials, so that they can control not only the changes and the releases, but also the project management aspect of it. So we believe that's a natural transition, as a natural linkage, and we've added a module for that. And it's very functional. I want to be able to do a demo for you soon on that, and we'll arrange that with it as well, focused on this functionality. But it's very rich features, you can do all kinds of complex things with it, all tied, all in the context of ITSM and ITIL. In addition, we've added, we've noticed as we're working with some of our largest customers that they're dealing with requests and articles, knowledge articles that are created in different kinds of languages. Especially as the service desk is going global, especially as the service desk is shared across multiple customers for managed service providers. They're really seeing a need they're receiving a request in French or Spanish, and sometimes the agent servicing the request might be in India or China or Costa Rica or wherever, right? And it becomes really problematic to do assignment and deal with that. So we've actually built a really cool feature where within the product itself, without doing any kind of extra configuration outside of just entering one key for Baidu or Google Translate, the service desk can get automatic translation so that they can just click a button whenever they see a language they don't understand, and Service Anywhere makes a request to Google Translate and gets a text back, and it works pretty good. And that's another thing I would like to demo for you in the future. We'll arrange that with it as well. And building on this theme of shared service desk, large service desk, we actually built a brand new console just to service the needs of our managed service providers. So an MSP console is now available as of the March release. And it's now, instead of having multiple windows open for different tenants, now a service provider who has a shared service desk can actually give the agents the ability to manage service requests that are coming in from multiple tenants in one console. And they can do all kinds of filtering and sorting and use one inbox to look at all the items that are coming in, regardless of the tenant type. So again, really cool innovation there. Should really help reduce the cost of servicing the request from multiple tenants, because now the agent is able to do things with fewer clicks and with fewer fine changes. In addition, this gets into some really cool things for us here, and maybe it's a bit geeky for me to get excited about this, but one of the really cool things that we did in March was actually this codeless configuration editor that we added. And as you know, for Service Anywhere, we really focus on allowing customers to customize the experience without writing code. Unlike some of the competition that requires you to write all kinds of code, JavaScript, whatever. We in Service Anywhere believe that customization and configuration should be minimal code as possible. And for that, we've just added another editor, which builds on top of the current editor that we have. And this editor actually lets people do the upgrades completely seamlessly. So previously, if you have any business rules you customize, any of the customizations that you've done in our codeless configuration wizard, codeless configuration editor, between upgrades, sometimes there'll be issues where you have to do some manual comparisons. So now we've removed that step where we are actually providing a diff and merge tool. So we can give you a quick diff between the customizations that the customer has made versus the baseline configuration that HPE has come out with. And then they can quickly click a button and merge that in. So again, we are reducing the cost here by really building the tools that our users want. So again, this is something that hopefully we'll be able to demo for you. In addition, for the self-service, we've added a tour. I believe the self-service interface is very intuitive. And you can see in the screenshot, it uses very strong visual metaphors. It's fairly intuitive, but for those service desks and for those IT shops that are concerned that there's still training needed for the end users, we've actually obviously provide the training, but also we've also added a self-service tour. So when the user first logs in, they can click around and get a guided tour of all the self-service functionality. So that is pretty cool as well. In addition, there's all kinds of great things around subscriptions, calendar integration, as well as the rebranding and interface polish that we have added, especially with the new HPE branding that has come out since late last year. Okay. That said, let me move to the next slide. And on this, I'll drill down a little bit on some of the functionality I referred to in the previous slide. So, we really believe that we want to give IT agility. And as you know, a lot of folks, a lot of customers have some frustration with how long it takes to get something deployed, how long it takes to get an offering or service available to end users. And I mean, that's part of the reason why Service Anywhere is built on a continuous delivery model, which I'm sure you've heard us talk about, where instead of having an 18 or 24-month release cycle like some of the products on the market, we have much quicker releases. We respond very quickly to customer feedback, very quickly to your feedback, community feedback, and we give the updates very quickly to our customers. So in light of that, the code disconfiguration tool is something I mentioned. In addition, the project management features are something that will help our customers manage the operational work and make them more agile. And as well as there's a lot of stuff around article creation and knowledge management. Let's see the next slide here. I covered most of this already. One thing I wanted to mention was the Robochat functionality. We've integrated that as well into the product. So this is again very interesting, very cool for self-service users. Again, it's fairly seamless. It doesn't look very robotic, frankly, in my experience, because it's backed by our big data engine, the autonomy idle functionality. Some of you may be familiar with that, where we do natural language on the fly, lookups and natural language queries, and we quickly reply back to a user's query with offerings and solutions. So what we have seen in our experience in our usability testing is that users seem to be pretty surprised at how intuitive it is and how easy it is. I mean, they'll start typing things like, how do I change my password, or hey, my exchange is down, and it'll immediately pop back with, hey, thanks for contacting us. By the way, here's an article which explains how to restore your exchange, or here's some news that exchange is in a blackout window, and please hold on until the blackout window is expired. So it looks very intuitive. It's very cool. Okay. So with that said, let me see if I can. Mark, are you available on the call?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Would you want to start from here, or do you want me to continue?
At this point, I would say go ahead and continue. I'll address any questions that folks might have in the room.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So, I just wanted to kind of buttress a message that we believe we have delivered great things in March, and in August we also have really great plans, and I hope to share that with you in the near future, actually. But to just kind of underline it, we really believe that we are in a position to help transform the shared service experience for the managed service providers and for large customers, and this expands opportunities for the line of business and MSP plays. So it's almost like a new customer segment or a new business segment for us. And those of us in our community who are partners, who are players in that area, we would love to work with you closely to develop this feature more and help you be successful in that market along with us. In addition, we have very strong investments in the portal. We believe the self-service users are the happiest users, and we've really expanded our investment in that area by adding more and more personalized information, smarter automatic flows. There are future announcements coming in August, which I can't talk about yet, but really, really exciting stuff happening here. And in addition, we're continuing to invest heavily into adding to the depth and breadth of a product. So as you know, Service Anywhere has tons of modules around ITAM, ITSM, around ITIL, release management, knowledge management. There's so much stuff, and it all comes out of the box without any special configuration needed, without any special licensing. It's just one simple license, and the whole product is available to you. And we're continuing to add to that message by that this is a easy to use but a very wide and deep product. So in that vein, we've added project management. So this is a new module, and it's a really exciting area for us. So we believe that with these innovation investments, we can continue to help the digital enterprise transform, and again improve the user experience, reduce the cost of IT, improve agility, increase quality. With that said, are there any questions?
Yes, we have a couple of questions. There's one here in particular about the language on the fly. Can you talk a little bit about how this came about, some of the customers that might be using it, the thought process behind putting this together as one of the key features for the release?
Well, that's excellent question. So what we saw when we were talking to our customers and partners was that for shared service desks, especially you have customers who are not going to give names, but customers who are expanding into other geographic regions, such as retailers or other folks of that nature that are they may have a service desk in Spain, for instance, or they may have a service desk in France, and they're expanding into Europe or China or the US. As they are working through their processes, as they're establishing their service desk, what they're seeing is that they're getting a lot of multilingual questions, and this is something where oftentimes it's a really expensive proposition to establish different teams, service desk teams, which are specific to that language, but also rewrite or create new knowledge articles that are just the only difference. The technical knowledge is the same, but just the language is different. So this is the problem you're trying to solve with the on-the-fly translation. With one click, you can translate the articles. With one click, you can translate the request that is coming in. With that said, this is something that is a new feature. We are learning as much as we can. So if there is any feedback, any thoughts that you have, I would love to hear from you on that.
Great. Yeah, the questions are kind of flowing in here. Please keep them coming. There's one here around the shared service and managed service provider. There's some new functionality that we're bringing to the table here. Can you talk a little bit more about how maybe our service providers are using it, maybe how some of our larger customers have multiple lines of businesses trying to maintain the various tenants, maybe some of the functionality that we're bringing on with this feature?
So let me answer that in two parts. So the first part is which customers and how they're using it. So I just want to say that first of all, this is a new feature that is coming out in this release. So we're working closely with partners and customers to roll that out. But at this point, I cannot share information on specific customers who are using this. But the other part about specific features and functionality, I believe it'll be a great opportunity for us to do a deeper dive on this in a future webinar where we can do a demo as well. But just to highlight a couple of features that we're doing here, one is basically the inbox, which is common, right? So that instead of having different windows open for an agent where they're looking at inboxes for different tenants, and depending on, they can't even, for example, if you get 3 high priority requests and your window tab is open to one and not the other, you might miss something, and all kinds of SLA issues arise from that. And not just that, I mean, it just creates tension, right? From a user experience point of view. Like if I was working in that environment, I mean, I'd be a nervous wreck. Right? Because I mean, I don't know who's updating what's going on, which customer should I be looking at. Now with the common inbox, with all the tenants are are available. I can filter things appropriately. I can have a much like a single point of view. I can have a single view of the tenants I'm assigned to as an agent. And more importantly, from my management's point of view, they know that there is a specific tool, that is a highly productive tool that is now being available, now is being developed by HPE for their use case. Right. So previously, MSP was something that was possible, but we didn't provide a lot of tooling in that area. But with this release, we're changing that.
Great. There's a question here that said you talked a little bit about the self-service portal with the loading page in the event that maybe they have slow internet, and some of the things that we're doing to help make that end user's experience a little bit better. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we noticed was from some customers who have assets, who have stores, for instance, in locations where there is not good internet connectivity. Just the service anywhere, as you know, is built on modern HTML5 applications, and they depend a lot on JavaScript and downloading libraries from the internet for that. It's all browser-based. There is no client that is installed, kind of like in 1990s client-server technology. This is all browser-based stuff. So especially in the West here, when you're in the US, we don't notice these things. But when reports started coming in from some of these geographic regions where internet connectivity is slow, people were seeing a delayed initialized time or delayed loading time for the main application, for the service center applications. So we really worked hard to cut down on that. And this again, it goes back to the theme that I was discussing earlier about our agility, about our ability to respond quickly to customer feedback. Because we realize that even though the vast majority of our customers are not having this issue, is clearly important for this geographic region that we give them the best user experience that is possible. So what we did was we built a really fast loading self-service page where when the user first gets in, they are able to see all their requests, all their tickets that are open or that are being worked upon, and they can very quickly, right away, without waiting for the rest of Service Anywhere to start, they can very quickly enter their issue. So as soon as you load the page, you get a text box saying, please enter your request, and you can say, hey, my password is not working, and very quickly, while they're typing, hitting enter, the rest of the UI loads, and when they hit enter, they quickly get the results back. So our expectation, our testing so far, and our future expectation is that the results will be really positive. We expect that our users will have the users in that geographic region, which has slow internet speed, will see a lot faster response times, and should be happier as a result.
Great. No, this great questions coming in. Appreciate the folks that are putting questions in. Here's one around knowledge management. What features are being developed to provide the full content editing? Currently, the best way to edit is enhanced connect is MS Word and then pasting it into the knowledge base. Do we have some suggestions, some ideas, some things that we've possibly released as part of the March release with knowledge management?
So there is
yeah. Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know that some of the features that you probably talked about in particular was the localization, which is part of the translation, some of the news modules, the process approvals, but I'm not positive that we put some particular additional functionality, if you will, for the formatting. So I think we'll have to take that one offline and review that one later. Okay, so let's take a look at the next question here. Is there true data segregation similar to Mad Dat and Service Manager? Is that something you could address, or should that be something that we take off?
Actually, Mark, there was a little bit of I think I can address that, but I don't know if I got the full question. So I got, is there true data segregation? Was the sort of question?
Yeah, similar to Mandattan. So inside of Service Manager, there's a higher level of security that you can apply to the data model, so that above and beyond user rights, it's done at the database layer. And they're asking if we have a similar approach to our SaaS solution.
So I mean, so first of all, there are two things I'd like to mention here, and we can do a deeper dive on it later.
Sure.
Folks. But so one thing is, multi-tenancy. So separating information at the database layer is something that is fundamental to Service Anywhere, and we're built upon that. So at no point does one tenant's data merge into the data of another tenant. It's completely segregated, and that's core. That's what it means to be multi-tenant. Data segregation is also something that is gets interesting in scenarios where you have customers who want to expose certain information and not certain information. So that I think we can address a little bit later. But there is no doubt that multi-tenancy is something we address. At no point do tenants share the data or look at or have commingled data.
Great. Here's we did get a good one here. I'm seeing the inline translation tool requires licensing. Where do you get the licensing from? And that's
so,
on the fly. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So what we realized was, in 2016, there are some pretty good service providers out there who allow, easy purchase of the tools. So we work with both with Google and Baidu. So those are the two that we currently support, and we can look into supporting more as well. But it's really, frankly, as simple as, I did it yesterday in about, I think, 6 clicks with Google, where I went to their website and the Google Translate website, went to the API section, signed up for the API, and I got a key. And that's the key I put in my Service Anywhere application settings area. And then voila, things started working. To get the key, you have to provide billing information to Google. But I can provide step-by-step steps to all of this, instructions to those who are interested. But it's frankly pretty well documented by Google as well. But I can provide any kind of instructions you guys need. Great questions.
Please keep them coming in. I think we've still got a little bit of time here, and we have some good questions. There's some of these questions in here I may have to take offline because of the. It looks like it's a particular use case. Trying to look through here to see some of the others while you were talking there compared to HPA. Service Manager product. Do you think you'll be adding these functionality, these additional features that we talked about today in Service Manager in its future releases? So it seems like it's a little bit of a race on some innovation here that we're able to do given our platform. And it looks like the question is will some of these be backported to Service Manager?
So on Service Manager, I actually worked on Service Manager as well a little bit, not too much. So I can share something, which is that Service Manager is actually seeing a lot of investment from HPE, and a lot of innovation is going in. Some of the examples are, as you might have seen, which are common with Service Anywhere, are the hot topic analytics, the smart analytics, stuff like that. So we're working very closely with them. In fact, I sit right next to the guy who's responsible for Service Manager. Having said that, we do realize that the Service Anywhere is a SaaS product. It targets a specific segment of the market, and Service Manager is an on-prem product, and so we realize there are differences there. So we're looking at things on a case-by-case basis, where things make sense, where it helps customers. I think Service Manager will be using a lot of our innovations, and vice versa. Having said that, I believe Service Manager will be speaking about some of the key innovations that are planned for them. As part of the service broker, really as part of the portals and stuff. But that's something that should come from them. And I'm sure most of you know Jacques Hanan, so he'll be sharing the information when he's available to you guys.
Great. Okay, well, it looks like we covered all the questions in the queue. I didn't see anything in the chat, so I guess we'll kind of last call for questions. And if looks like we have all the questions wrapped up. Do you have some closing remarks on the release? And then I think we pass it back to Robbie to close us.
Yeah, just to quickly mention that Discover 2016 for HP is coming up. So this is our premier event for our partners and for our customers. So we really encourage you to register ASAP and get your membership discount. And we offer with discount through Willet. So hopefully you guys will register soon and participate in it. It should be a great event, just like it always is. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this call. There's a short survey and opt-in information from Willet. These are the links. Just want to mention, for those who are not, who haven't tried out Service Anywhere, we do offer a trial. So that is also available as a link. That's going to be made available to you via Willet. Okay, thanks everyone, and with that, I'll turn it over to the Willet staff. Thank you very much.
This is Robbie. Hi. Again, thank you all for bearing with us as we were having some trouble getting the webinar started. And thank you again to Cash and Mark. If you have additional questions, let us know. We will see what we can do to forward those questions to them. So again, thank you. And don't forget that you do get a Vivid discount if you use the link that was on the previous slide to register for Discover. We will have a Vivid booth set up and are looking forward to seeing everybody there. And do try to take the survey. It'll help us improve webinars going forward. And you have a link on your page right now to look into the Service Anywhere trial. So with that, thank you everybody, and have a wonderful weekend coming up.